I'm going live a few seconds early. Why not? It's 10:29 in the a.m. I always said I want to go. I always said I want to do the show. What's the word I'm looking for? I always say I want to do the show early. Gonna do it at 10:29. That's pretty early. We got Jeff Newman in the room already. We got the Zach Attack sitting in here. What's going on? Good morning. We got Hirsch for real dropping on by. We're going to have some guests dropping in today. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to have a little bit of entertainment. We got the Giants coming up, of course. We got the big draft show coming up. Yo, Emmanuel, what's going on? Emmanuel Reese is here. Emmanuel, we're going to have on a little bit later, too, I think. We got a lot of stuff going on today, guys. We're moving on. The Giants are moving in. We got the sad news about Dwayne Haskins. I talked about that. I did a 2-minute video. We got Dahmer in the house. JJ's also in there. I did a quick video on Dwayne Haskins yesterday because of the fact that it's a tragedy. It's a tragic loss. I don't think it has anything. Mark Thompson, of course, from Barbados is in the room. The Dahmer's here. You know what? And the thing with Dwayne Haskins is it isn't about football. I said this in the video. It's not about football. It's not about his football acumen. It's not about what he did at Ohio State. It's not about what he didn't do for the Washington team. It's not what he did or didn't do for his career. He's a person. He's a human being. It's about the people he left behind, and it's about the people, the tragedy of the accident of itself. We don't know the full details or the full extent yet, but that's what people need to focus on, not what he did not do in his NFL career. And that's what I basically said in the video. You need to, like I said, I'm Irish. So you celebrate people when they pass in the Irish community. You celebrate them. So you need to celebrate the life that he had and the life that he was definitely not on here long enough, this earth, but you celebrate what he had and you celebrate what he accomplished, not just on the football field, but as a human being and as a person. And that's what you need to focus on. And Don, you're always the man. Don dropping in the first super chat. Had to bless the chat. Rest in peace to a young man who lost his life too young. Go Big Blue. Happy Palm Sunday. That's right. It is Palm Sunday as well. But that's what you need to focus on. That's true, Herschel. I didn't mention that. But that's what we need to focus on. That's what you need to remember about Dwayne Haskins. You don't remember about what he did at Ohio State. You don't remember what he didn't do in Washington. You don't remember where he was in Pittsburgh. You remember the man. You remember the person. You remember the husband. You remember the son. And that's what you remember. And that's what you focus on, not his football acclimates. Let's talk about the New York Football Giants, because that's what we're all here for. Good morning, Stu. What's going on? Let's talk about the Giants. Got the draft coming up, creeping up ever so slowly. Could it creep up a little faster? The 28th is still like 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away before we get this draft season. I'm tired of seeing everything about the draft. I'm tired of seeing, if I see one more mock draft, I'm going to run out of the house screaming. Or one other projected trade. We have a projected trade here. The Giants are going to trade the pick to someone.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
That's for you, AP. That's for you. Crazy hair day, isn't it? Yeah, I'm having a crazy hair day today. Got up a little late. I'm not going to lie. On my second cup of coffee. But, the Giants, everyone's like, well, the Giants need to take this. The Giants got to take this. The Giants got to go offensive lineman FI7. It's the Vinny G coming in. It's snowing in Northeast Pennsylvania. I'll have to call my mother because our ants are up. So I got some ants up that way to see if it's snowing up there. But you got all these people pontificating what we need, what we don't need, that we need to take 10 offensive linemen in the first 9 picks. Then we're going to fix the draft doing this. And then our own Joe Shane comes out and says, we are taking the best people available. We have so many holes. Vegas has us at 7 wins. I've said it before. I'm a big proponent of the Vegas line. Good morning to you. I'm a big proponent, and the Sam Huff. I'm a big proponent of the Vegas line because, like I said, the Vegas says what the way to look at the Vegas is they are there to make money. They're there to make cash. They're there to make bank. Oh, we got OGR dropping into the house. Oh, Joe, the super chat says, Tim, I would love to see you run out of the house screaming. That would be entertaining. Well, you jump on the trap show. There could be something going on with that. But we need so much. And thank you for the super chat, OGR. We need so much, it doesn't matter. And maybe mock drafts are fun. Maybe they're fun. Maybe they're exciting. Maybe I am totally wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last time. I was probably wrong 6 times today already. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and they're the most fun thing to do, because funnest is not a word unless you're in this house. But why? But why? Why, Lord? Why? Why do people find it necessary to have 50,000 mock drafts? Why is that necessary? One's enough. We're doing one. We are doing one. Uno. Trayvon is moving up. Trayvon's done nothing to move up on this board. Trayvon's done nothing besides have a good combine to move up. He's done nothing but he's done nothing but have a good combine. I don't understand. Someone just who just asked me, what was the question here? What was the question? Tim, who do you see your sleeper pick? I'm going to give you a sleeper pick. I'm going to give you my sleeper pick. And I talked about this guy on the video yesterday because I ranked the corners in my opinion. Again, these are just my opinions. It's just my humble opinion. I ranked the cornerbacks. And I'm telling you right now, Trent McDuffie. I like Trent McDuffie, even though he's only 5'11", 195 pounds. He's a guy that can tackle. He's a guy that can lay the wood. He is a gentleman who can potentially not only fill in at corner. I've said this before. He could play, and some scouts are now projecting this. He could be a safety. I have him on my big draft board right now. I got him ranked number 30. Looking at my draft board right now. I have him ranked number 30, just below Trevor Penning and Dobson, the wide receiver over at Penn State. He's a guy that I think could come in and you can fill not one, but 2 slots on this team. Dom says, if we take 10 linemen with the first 8 picks, Twitter will guarantee we will win 18 games. We're winning at least 30 games this year, Dom. 30. Book it. Go to Vegas. Go to right now. Go, Dom. If you go to the back room of Poppycockers, they have the betting parlor there. Put $30 down on the Giants winning 48 games this year. Because I'm already seeing it. And we haven't even gotten through the draft yet. Sleeper pick, Eli says, is Malik Willis.
On the board, the Malik Willis Express.
He should be. I don't think he's getting past Detroit. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing him get past Detroit now. There's just too much chatter coming out of Detroit. Hurst for real is right. It's armchair GMs. I don't want to be an armchair GM. I don't want to be a foot GM or a footstool GM. That's just me. What's up, Scotty? Dom says the ultimate sleeper pick is Baker. Except he misunderstood the meeting and fell asleep in the meeting room. Don't push. Sorry, Dom. Evidently, Dom is Rambo. Devin Lloyd fits I've said this a million times. Devin Lloyd fits the wing system. If you want to go if you want to go defense, first 2 picks, Kayvon Thibodeau, Devin Lloyd, you could then take the rest. You could then take the rest of the draft, and you could draft every offensive lineman that you want. I won't say anything. Yeah, the Giants signed the international guy, the project tackle. I don't remember his last name. He's being mentored by Osa Umenyiora. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I've mentored people. They're probably just as screwed up now than they were before. We've got Isaiah Palamola, could be a possible 8-round sleeper pick. Troy Polamalu's nephew. Good ball out there. He could. I don't know where I have him on my list. I'll have to look at my list later. I can't find my top 51 list. I can only find 30 on my top 51. I hope we don't reach across. I don't want to reach across the 7. Oh God. Oh, Lord. If OGR wants to see me run out of the house, reach for cross at 7 or 5. If you want to reach for him at 15, that's fine. I said it before to me, he is the third best tackle in this draft. He is. But he's not the third best player. He's the third best tackle. There is a unique difference in regards to that. Plus the fact you cannot take someone whose skill sets lend themselves and dictate themselves to be a left tackle, draft them at 5, at 7 or 7, and then move them to right tackle. I don't know, kids. That's a little crazy to me. That's a little nuts. You can't reach and then change positions. Not in the top 10. Can you do that 15 and below? Sure. Why not? But in the top 10, you can't just reach to change a position. Now, you can reach in the top 10. Don't get me wrong. You can reach in the top 10. But to reach and then shift his line position, that is a disaster. I still would take, like I said, I still want Malik. I'm not getting off that train. I don't see it happen because, like I said, I don't see him slipping past Detroit. But like I said, if you take Thibodeau and Lloyd, you've just fixed your defense. Yes, Devin Lloyd's a little older. He is a little older, but you figure that's what he's going to be. He's going to be in the team for 7 years instead of 8. I have no problem with that. Malik Willis is 22, and which I actually like. All aboard, Charlie says. We're bringing the boom.
Malik Willis, bringing the boom.
We're dropping the boomstick coming into MetLife. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Zach Attack, thank you for the super chat. Zach Attack, the Zach Attack in the house. I believe people mistakenly the San Francisco Giants for the New York Giants. Well, I hope San Francisco wins more than 7 games. The Giants said it. The San Francisco Giants said it. I think if we trade 7, and I like Lloyd at 10, Lloyd could still be there at 10. I know your super chat was a joke. I know that, Zach. I'm old, but I'm not that old. I could tell a joke when I see one. It was funny too. But I was joking because, like, I don't want to explain it. I'm just joking. Nessie, no, I'm just joking with you. I still think you could get Lloyd. I still think you could potentially get Lloyd at 10. I think you could. I think he's gonna be one of those picks, though, that I think you're going to see him move up. Yes, we know it's a joke. We got it. OGR just wants to see me screaming and yelling. Peter King thinks we're looking for a trade down. Everyone thinks we're looking to trade down. I'm going to be different. I don't want to trade up. I don't want to trade down. I want to trade sideways. I want to trade 7 for 7B. That's what I want. The kid from Montana State, you know what? I have him. Where do I have him on my board? I have him on my board. Now, I cannot think of his name because, like I said, I'm tired this morning. I cannot think of his name. I can't find the top 51 list. I don't know what the hell I did with my top 51. What did I do with my top 51? What did I do with it? I lost it. How did I lose my top 51 list? I don't know. I only got the top 30. Good morning, Mr. Mazinga. I know your name's not Mazinga, but I call you Mazinga. Sunday, your hair is a bit wild. How are you today? What you talking about, Willis?
Gotta get to work.
That's the wrong one, but then I can add in.
What you talking about, Willis?
I can just click right over what you're talking about because I knew it was the next button. It's the next one. It's the next button over. One good thing is we always seem to hit on our second rounders. 36 will be interesting. 36 will be interesting. I still like Zion Johnson at 36. If McDuffie doesn't go in the top 35, I would like McDuffie as well. I still got Zion at 34 on my list. I also like, it's funny. Everyone talks about the running back. I like Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State. Just a thought. Just a thought process. What does Dredd Pull have to say? Definitely going defense in the first round with both picks. Just looking historically, Bills drafted defense first round for the year since. Yeah, exactly. The Bills are going to, if you follow the Bill model, which we seem to just take all Bill players, you would think that we would follow that philosophy. Yes, Kenny Pickett's 29. Most people don't know that Kenny Pickett has been in school for 8 years. One more person. Someone again DM'd me and said, "Well, Kenny Pickett broke all of Dan Marino's records at Pitt." Yeah, and it did it in 5 years. He played 5 years because he took advantage of the COVID rule. If I played 100 years, I could probably break all Dan Marino's records as well. Malik, we'll make it past the choice. Nah, there's something. There's something. I'm telling you, there's something. There's something. What's up, Mr. Authentic? If you know Mr. Authentic, it's Mr. Authentic and the Beard. Go find his channel on the YouTube sphere. We just, and he says, "What's up, Dom?" Dom's not here today. Dom's in the chat, but I'm on a roll. It's time to go solo. I'm rolling in my 5.0. I got my hair ranked up down, so my hair can blow. That's why this happened. Saints may look like to use their first 2 picks to move up into the top 10. I worry about the Saints. I already worry about the people trying to accumulate multiple draft choices for next year. I worry that people are putting all their eggs in the 2023 quarterback basket. I worry about monkeys with hats because they're scary. These are the things that keep me up at night. Wink doesn't value pass rushers. We're going offense. Actually, Wink does value pass rushers. Wink values pass rushers very greatly. That's why he went out and got Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue. And the other what's his name? The other guy that was there. Yeah, he values pass rushers quite extensively. Troy Anderson, the guy out of Montana State. Thank you, Edward. Thank you. You know what? I need this town needs an enema. You know what I need? Do not worry about monkeys with hats because they are kind of scary, except if they're in the zoo. I need to worry about keeping a new stream going on. We have a new, not channel, but we have a new show coming up. Let me acknowledge it. Super chat. Tim salute to drop by the office and pay the proper respects for all the Giant fans around the world. Slapping all them stinky loser boys out the door. Forget about it. Good morning, Tuto. We're gonna drop in who someone's always looking dapper. He's repping his Ohio State gear. I had a conversation with this gentleman. It's James Williams in his house. What's up, James?
Morning, brother. What's going on?
Doing? Not much. Your hair is just as bad as mine today. I've already gotten yelled at that I'm having a bad hair day.
You've been doing pretty good, man. You've been looking pretty dapper, man. And last time you had the Dahmer on, he had the fresh cut, so it's all right if you got a Sunday flow. I call it the Sunday
flow. And that's gonna, you know what? That's the name of our new show, Sunday Flow. Even though it's not going to be on Sundays, we haven't even picked today. But this new show is going to be "We're going to need a bigger boat." It's going to be talking everything from Giants to everything that you could possibly imagine. We haven't picked the date yet, but we're going to have a date coming up soon. It's going to be, we'll broadcast it on this channel. We'll also broadcast it on the online Big Blue network. But we'll drop some more news. And of course, you're repping your Ohio State shirt. I talked briefly a little bit this morning about the tragedy of Dwayne Haskins, and I said, like I said in my video yesterday, it's not about looking at his career, what he didn't do or what he did do or what he could have done. It's looking at that 24-year-old lost their lives, and it's about himself, his family, what he brought to the world as a person, not just a professional athlete. And I know you're a big Ohio State fan. And that was my perspective, because I think too many people are focusing on what he didn't accomplish in his career, but your career does not define you as a man, as a human, as a person. And I think that's sometimes what we get away from as a society. And that's what, besides the fact that you're always fun to talk to, is one of the other reasons I wanted to bring you on this morning. And like I said, I don't want to, because this is Giant related, but what about Dwayne? You have a perspective about Mr. Haskins.
Yeah. Well, first off, good morning, everybody in the room. What's going on, everybody? Shout out G-Men Nation always. Always good to be on here with my brother from another. Tim, let me just steal the mic for 3 minutes, brother. I just want to say something real quick. Yeah, I'm a big Ohio State guy. You know, anybody that knows me in the chat knows I thought we should have picked him. As far as football-wise goes, that turns out to be the wrong move. But right now, I'm not here to talk about just the football aspect. We don't really know what happened. There's a lot of things coming out. I'm not really going to speak on it yet because it's just hearsay. Want to wait to the police and everybody does their due diligence and find out exactly what really happened, because just everything I'm hearing is just nutso right now. And I see everybody making the comments right now. I'm about to speak on that, because one thing I do want to speak on real quick, before we get back to our regular program, is like you said, there's a difference between your job, your profession, and then you as a person. A guy may suck at McDonald's at making fries. He may be the best father ever, And with the Dwayne Haskins passing, obviously he was highly touted at Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. And he was a top pick, first round. Obviously that didn't really pan out in Washington. He was then let go and was on Pittsburgh. Even behind Mason Rudolph, what it looked like. But one thing I want to say is Gil Brandt, an executive from the Cowboys. He would work there from 1960 to 1988.
Yeah.
He was very smart, football-minded man. I did a little reading on him real quick before I make these comments, so I, cover all the four corners. He was an executive. I guess you could say that he kind of helped introduce somewhat analytics into the scouting, into how I guess they approached into going after players or looking at players. Obviously, he helped build their success from behind the scenes, along with the other coaches, personnel, players there. I just want to say two things. He made two comments yesterday. And this is, again, like when somebody passes or dies, it's a sad event. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are, as long as they weren't hurting anybody, they weren't out here, being a monster or something. Anytime somebody passes, and especially in an accident, it's always tragic. I don't understand where we come to in society where, we feel we could just shoot off at the mouth when somebody's gone and disrespect them. He made two comments real quick. I just want everybody, if you don't know already, he said, and I quote, Dwayne Haskins was a guy living to be dead. And he said maybe if he stayed in school a year, he wouldn't be doing silly things. Now, the one thing I want to say real quick, and I'll pass it back to my brother, is when we come on here and we criticize players for their play on the field. On the field. The past 3 years, I've been up to my neck in hearing the excuses for certain players, especially on our team, who just haven't performed, and yet people will defend them with the King Arthur shield. It doesn't make any sense. And then when a guy like Dwayne Haskins is killed in a tragic accident, you have somebody who could just come right out and make these comments. And he's a little older, I try to give people who, if you're 90 years old or you're 5 years old, I try to give you a pass on certain things, because you've either gotten to the point where you've lived so much life that, you may be starting to get to the point that you don't think before you speak, or you may be too young to realize that words have power and you don't know what you're saying because you're too young. But I just want everybody to understand that, and I'm sure everybody here does, because this is a smart channel. Tim is a smart brother. He grows a smart fan base here. We appreciate him, and I appreciate y'all in here. But when we come on here and we criticize players or coaches, or we're getting on a guy like Daniel Jones for not performing, it's for his play on the field. We're not attacking the man. We're not attacking the man. We're not attacking his family. We're not attacking his character. And when I hear a guy who's been in football since 1960, and you would think just have a more appreciation of life, especially being at 90, it really bothers me that and he did apologize. He did come out and he apologized.
Almost right away after
he did. I'll give. Like I said, I cover all four corners on this. The brother did come out and apologize. So thank you to Mr. Brandt for that. I think he had a moment of like, oh crap, what did I say? But I just want everybody to understand the difference when real disrespect versus, no, we're just talking about your performance in your job that you signed up for. Nobody makes you be a football player. You're not forced with a gun to your head to say, hey, go play football if you get, this is your career. You chose this,
Right.
So it's just sad all around. Obviously, I'm a big Ohio State guy, so I'm feeling some kind of way, inside. But I just wanted to say that real quick, brother. Thank you for letting me borrow the mic for a minute, because I just thought when I heard that, I just don't understand when I come on here and I say Daniel Jones can't play professional quarterback as a full-time starter and be a franchise. He can maybe be a backup, maybe, but he can't be a starter. He's not a franchise guy.
Right.
When we get all this pushback, then you bring up a guy like Dwayne Haskins, and everybody's so quick to trash the guy who we haven't even really seen play for 3 years, mind you, like we have Daniel Jones.
Right.
And then the guy passes, and he's no longer here with us, and somebody's just going to come out and literally trash him as a man. It's just weird. But thank you, man. I just wanted to get that out.
I appreciate it. And a lot of people did that on Twitter in some regards, and that's why I didn't want to do a video yesterday. I wasn't going to do a video yesterday, but I felt the need to come on the mic yesterday and just say, hey, listen, you have to respect him as a man, as a human, as a husband, as a son, as everything else. And football is a distant 5th or 6th or 8th on that list. And that's like I said, nobody knows the situation. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
We don't know if this goes beyond the tragedy that it even is now, because we don't know what was in his mind. We don't know what he was doing. We don't know. So we have to kind of just wait and see to, before anyone passes judgment or says anything. Because like I said, I get blamed. I get crap all the time for doing YouTube. And like I said, I can't imagine the amount of crap that he got being, what people refer to as a bust as a first rounder for the Washington football team. But let's get into a happier note. Let's not keep going down that path, because Saeed has a great thing from Twitter. I saw this. I commented on this from Malik Willis. Half these people need to be lawyers the way they argue on Twitter. I thought that was. I wish I could give it more than one thumbs up for Malik, because I was like, that was. He feels.
That's great. It's a great line by him. It's like I always tell you, Twitter is the Bermuda Triangle of common sense.
Yes.
You may run into it. You may run into it, but more likely you're just gonna go round and round and go crazy.
It's gonna go round and round. I tell you why. Round and round. Sorry. T-Brad said, sorry to hear that a young person losing your life. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Greg over in Sweden, in my opinion, if we get drafted to the NFL or any professional sports, you are not a bust. Sometimes your career doesn't pan out as expected. That's true. You're not a bust because you didn't play well. I mean, we label people that. I've labeled people that. But that's not a bust in your, just because you didn't pan, like you were saying, just because you didn't pan out in your professional career doesn't mean your life is over. Doesn't mean you're a bust in life.
Yeah, it's like, listen, like I could come on here and I bust Daniel Jones chops, but guess what? I can't stand in the NFL pocket and hit a third and 14 strike with Aaron Donald chasing me down. No.
Daniel Jones can't do that either. So what you saying?
But I'm just saying, like I can't do that. I know I can't do that. Get on here. We get on players, because it's they're in the public eye, and they're number one, they're well paid. Let's just say that it's not like we're coming on here and we're trashing them and these guys are making minimum wage, killing themselves like some of us are out here. So they're well paid, they're well compensated. Let's get that out the way. It's kind of like the I don't know if anybody saw it, Tim. I know we talked about it. Sam Darnold was on a podcast and he's talking about, I guess all the criticism and struggles he's gone through. And, it's like he's on there for like an hour, but there's like a 5-minute clip, if anybody, looks it up, where he's talking about his criticism. And he kind of says what you just said, where he goes, fans, I understand fans are fans. And I think he was mainly talking about Jets fans. And he's like, he understands the criticism. He's a professional. He has a job to do. Anybody at any job, you have to perform. Let's just get that out. Any job, especially professional sports. You have the world's looking at you, millions of people. You're paid millions of dollars. And he said he understood that. The one thing in the interview that was off, though, where athletes and people in a public forum have to understand is, what up, Authentic? Shout out, bro. Is that you're paid those millions because you're supposed to perform at a certain level.
Well, it's
You
just
know,
like it's like anything. Even if you're like you were saying, making fries at McDonald's, if you're making $10 an hour and you burn the fries, what are they going to do?
oh, they're either going to put you on the mop or you're out the door.
Or you're out the door. And the NFL, to some extent, it's the same way. I mean, it's just, and fans will be fans and fans. I don't want to keep pontificating about this because people don't want to come here and be serious on a Sunday.
Yeah, of course, right?
It's a serious time, but I do laugh at one of the Greg's things. Gil had the drunk uncle moment. Yeah. 100%. I come from, my family's from a coal mining town. And they lived there for years. I'm second generation, so that's where they were. And it's funny though, because they're in their 80s now, and some of the things that they said back then, they still say now, because of the fact that they don't think anything of it, because of the fact that that's just the way they were, and they're not. You and I will go into this actually in the podcast, because I think it's a funny topic. Because I have a really funny story about it, but it's not appropriate for this channel. But I have a real funny story about what someone said something, a family member said something. I was like, and then the person they said it to just looked at me and said, "Well, listen, I understand, because that's just the way they talked back then. But you can't talk that way now."
Yes,
it doesn't mean that they were,
Yeah, it's just as times change, perspective changes. Everything changes. Look at the way society is now. It's totally different. You go back 60 years ago, the way people speak about, look at just to make it light real quick. Look at a comedy show on TV and the jokes they tell. It's totally different than 50 years ago.
Oh, you can't do a Married with Children. You can't do that. You can't do like Martin Lawrence's show. You can't do that now.
There's certain jokes.
Forget about it.
Oh, in Living Color would have been canceled in the first 2 months. We were
talking about Fire Marshal Bill the other day, because I had a fire pit in the middle of my living room.
That was classic, by the way. Fire Marshal Bill definitely would have came in and shut you down.
He would have shut me down.
He would have shut you down.
It was cold. I opened the window. I told you this.
You made a handyman joke last week, and you couldn't have a character like Handyman on TV right now. That's just way too over the top.
I forgot about Handyman. Oh, they made a Handyman movie.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. That's news to me.
Made a Handyman movie with what's his Brian? The other is Brian.
Oh, Blank Man.
Blank Man. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you talk about Blank Man.
It was derivative off of the Handyman character.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. Anybody, if you're bored, go check out Blank Man. We're totally off topic. Sorry about that. But
let's get into Samuel.
Sorry about that.
How can the Giants organization still think Daniel Jones is a guy? It's just insulting to fans. At least an Alex Smith, you wouldn't invest in Alex Smith. Mara, stubborn, or just stupid? I think Mara is just stubborn.
Yeah, I think stubborn. Stubborn.
I think he just sees. He doesn't want to be the dumbest guy in the room, and I've said this a million times. If you sit there and you think you're the smartest guy in the room, more than likely you're the dumbest guy in the room. Because
you should get up, go to another room.
You should get up and go to another room. You should get up and go to an empty room, because then you can be the smartest and dumbest guy in the room at the same time. But I think he just doesn't want to make mistakes. I just don't think he's sitting there and wants to say, "Well, I screwed up on DJ." I don't think that's the biggest problem.
Mara is doing the utmost man thing where you're trying to fix something or do something, and like your girl or your mom or your wife comes in and she just simply goes, "Oh, well, wouldn't that work if you do this?" And what she says is totally right, but you're in your man moment of sitting here for 5 hours trying to figure this out, and you go, "No, that's not. No, I got to do it this way. No, I don't know what you're talking about." And then she walks away, and then you try what she said, and you go, "Damn," like. Mara's he's in the middle of that, having that damn moment and still trying to be like, "No, I got to stick to my guns," so it's stubborn. He's
I
just
call
being
that
really
Wednesday. Deadpool says, let's say Jones has 17 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. We make it to the playoffs. Would you resign? How much? First of all, if he has 17 and 12, how many fumbles? And if he's 17 and 12, we're not making the playoffs unless Saquon's rush for 2,000 yards and we have a top 5 defense.
And how many games did he play out of the 17?
And how many games did he play out of the 17? So no. I like this. Hirsch for real says Shane is remaining coy on the draft. We talked about this. Malik Willis had a secret meeting with the Giants. Had a private meeting that no one don't talk about it. Had a private meeting, and I told the story last week in the stream. Somebody told me, who's a friend of mine that works around MetLife, that the Giants met privately with Malik, and I thought he was just being an asshole and busting my chops. Because he knows how much I love Malik. So, and I sat there and I didn't mention it. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And I told him, I said, I had a secret meeting with Santa. So, and he's like, well, how did that go? I'm like, well, pretty good. But then you see that it's confirmed by Walter Sports and a bunch of other places that Malik has met with a bunch of teams, and he's met with them not only at the combine, but he also met with certain teams privately.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it interesting that these people who met with privately, that one of the teams was the Giants, and that no one has reported, no one has even talked about. This is where you say something, James.
No, I just
Cue James.
No. Listen, I want that to sink in. I want to, so let that sink in for a minute. I used to work with kids, for like 10 years, and sometimes, you'd be in front of like 30 of them, and you say something, and you wait. You want to look at their eyes and see if that clicks in. Now, obviously, we can't see anybody's face in the chat, but what you just said speaks volumes. The Giants have actually had meetings with Malik Willis. Now, on the surface level, you didn't hear that.
No.
If you watch his pro day, Shane wasn't there.
No.
Mara wasn't there.
No.
Kafka wasn't there. Dable wasn't there. Yet, after that, you hear, oh no, the Saints, the Eagles, the Panthers, the usual suspects, but then, the Giants?
And then you find the Giants had already met with him. The Giants have already met with him.
So just real quick, just to bring this wagon trail around is, so Shane, when he was in Buffalo, we know was actually starting to scout Malik while he was in Buffalo, because I guess he assumed he's going to go on to, apply for his own job as general manager. Okay, comes here. We know that he was not at the pro day, but he did go look at him at what was that? The Senior Bowl.
He stood behind him for almost the entire, I think, second or third practice at Senior Bowl.
Okay, so that's Senior Bowl. Now you get reports coming out, and it's almost like a throw-in thing where it's like, oh yeah, he met with the Giants too, and it's like, oh, so guy was scouting this kid when he was on another team, then went to the Senior Bowl, was watching him, then had a meeting with the kid, but we're not looking at a quarterback.
No,
I'm not saying anything, but we're not looking at a quarterback.
We're not looking at a quarterback. Don't forget, people, to get those likes up. James is not in the room to tell people to like.
Oh, that's right. Hit those likes, people.
You hit the like. You got to do it. You got to get help with the channel out. All in the family would have been banned today. From Hirsch from Real says, Maximus says, Mary would be crucified today. Stu says, imagine Angie Barker, Bunker. Eli drops the knowledge. Al Bundy scored 4 touchdowns at Polk High.
Polk High, baby.
Polk High. That was a record at Polk High. Only running back scored 4 touchdowns at Polk High. What does Alvin have to say? It's not even the deep shows that are 10-year-olds or less that would have issues today. Not even the deep shows that are 10-year-olds. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, it's everything. You know what? Eastbound and Down. That was a good show. And you watch that was a good show.
Yeah. No, that was.
That was basically based off of John Rocker, and I mean that was on HBO though, so that would still be around.
Yeah, because you can push the needle a little more. But Archie Bunker. Shout out to everybody bringing up Archie Bunker, man. I used to watch the reruns of Archie Bunker and laugh. Man.
For someone to break out a Meathead reference. That's what I'm waiting for. Tyrone says, good morning, gentlemen. Hope all is well. A little late, nevertheless. I am here. Also, people, hit the damn like button. Do what Tyrone says, because if you don't do what Tyrone says, I don't know. I don't know what'll happen.
Smash them likes, people. Spread the good word. Spread the good word. This is Sunday service. Sunday service.
Windplug says, facts, James, for your Dwayne Haskins. doing that. Stu said, "This is a good
shout out, plug."
This is a good one for Stu. Mayor's problem was he kept Eli too long. He was down the hill and went to replace him during the draft a couple of years. I agree. I am a huge Eli Manning fan. I have said that before. I am a huge Eli Manning fan. And I think it was in 16 or 17, I can't remember. The last game of the season against the Redskins, I've put the pictures up. I was on the field. I was there when it was -3. And I stayed there 2 hours before the game, 2 hours after the game, because I assumed that was Eli Manning's last game as a Giant. Because it just seemed it was time to move on.
Yeah.
And I hated the idea of moving on from Eli because he still threw for 4,000 yards that season, over 20 touchdowns. But it just felt it was the moment, the right moment to make a directional shift in the organization. And we didn't.
No.
Because Mara had false hope that he could build an offensive line somehow around a 36-year-old quarterback and everything would be fine.
And we didn't try to build it the right way. Kind of tried to pitch and patch and get discount linemen and do this and then put this guy, it wasn't a very well thought out plan. Maybe if we built the line the right way and if we supported Eli better his last few years, he would have looked better than he did, his last few years. Because there were some times he just looked bad. We all love Eli, love Eli. If I see Eli Manning smoking crack in the street, getting mugged, I'm jumping in, I'm getting the crack out of his hand, and I'm taking him to the clinic myself. That's how much we love Eli Manning. I actually checked out, if you have Disney Plus or ESPN Plus, Tom Brady, the Man in the Arena series he did, I started watching some of that. And of course, he has a chapter in there called Goliaths, dedicated to his 07 season, which was a great season, by the Patriots. And then, 16-0, 16-0. But, obviously he talks about, the Super Bowl and everything is leading up to the Giants, and Michael Strahan is on there. And it's just when you watch that and you watch it from Brady, the GOAT perspective, and you hear that, Eli Manning, man, I mean, what he gave us for his career, and those 2 Super Bowls, I mean, my God, it's to hear Tom Brady talk about it lets you know the impact.
It was outside of the Philly games. That was the black marks on Tom Brady's career. Those check marks. Eli says, "Tim, what's the name of your current host? He makes great points every time. You don't know his name.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
His name is Show Enough.
Kiss my Converse.
I love that line.
That's the line right there.
I was like, Bruce Leroy.
That movie's a classic. Last Dragon.
If you don't know it, go watch it.
Go check that out.
Williams. His name is it's not on the bottom of the screen. It's on the bottom of my screen.
Well, thank you, Eli. I appreciate that, man. I love everybody in this chat, man. This is one of the just best all out. It's like being in a bar on Sunday, having a drink.
Sunday at 10:30 in the morning.
I mean, having some coffee. Don't be in a bar having shots at 10:30 in the morning.
Tuto says, Tim, what's the story of Black Rifle thing? I've never heard about it. My teammates are asking. Black Rifle is the greatest coffee on the history of the planet. It's Black Rifle coffee. Tuto, you're a man. You can tell by the picture you took of me. You're a man. Black Rifle coffee is man's coffee. They have coffee that will make you see through time.
That's a good. I like that. You should use that advertiser. I like that.
I was just reading the text message for this is online Big Blue. I don't know if I'm allowed to read it, but it was pretty funny. Yes, Black Rifle Coffee. You can go to their website, blackrifle.com. It's also on the brccc.com. Great coffee, greatest coffee. It's veteran owned. They brew it themselves. They do the beans themselves. They roast it. It's different coffee every month. It's awesome.
Shout out to all the veterans out there. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Eli says Malik is one of the top 30 visits. Very sneaky. Yeah, I mean he is. I mean they're keeping it on the down low. They're keeping it low. They really are.
That is very sneaky, Eli. That is very. It's just where there's smoke, there's fire. Yep. That's all I'm gonna say. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
And it wasn't in the middle of my living room. Alwyn says if Jones has 35 touchdowns and under 15 turnovers with a good completion percentage, he's coming back. Needs to be a borderline top 10 quarterback. I think he has the tools are there, but will it happen? If he's got 35 and under 15 turnovers, then he's had a really good year. But again, I cannot pay. Did we not learn?
King of the almost sack.
Did we not learn that you are something your first 5 years of your career and then you're something for one? These 5 years have not been negated. They have not gone away. So more than likely, you're somewhere in between these first 5 years and these 1 year, or you're this. And that's what I think. If Daniel Jones has a great year, I'll be very happy for the kid because that means we probably won some games. But I can't sit there and tell you I'm going to give you $20 million a year.
We can't Julius Randle Daniel Jones. Any Knicks fans know that, meaning that have a guy who's been in the league a number of years. You see his body of work. It's really not all that impressive. He has one outlier year. Like, let's say Daniel Jones balls out next year, and then you go, oh, we're going to pay him. And then think like the rest of his career is going to be the one outlier year. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. I could be wrong. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not, a higher power, but the odds of it are very low. For all you who like analytics and numbers, the odds of that happening are just so low. Tim, actually, real quick, what does everybody in the chat think? Like, what would be a good year for Daniel Jones, numbers wise? Like touchdowns, turnovers, games played. What would be the numbers, just touchdowns, turnovers, games played, to think like to get us even scared to the point that Mara or somebody would think, oh, maybe I should extend this guy? Like, what numbers do you think Daniel Jones would have to put up to even give us a scare like that? Where Mara would try to convince maybe Sean or Dable, hey, maybe we should keep this.
You know what the scary thing is? I think if he goes 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and maybe 6 fumbles and throws for like 3,600 yards, I still think Mara would say we need to sign him.
That's nasty.
That's what I think. I think that's
nasty.
I think that's what I think in Mara's logic. It's the Eli defense. Eli that last full year as a starter still threw close to 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and everything else, but it wasn't a great year. And I think that's the same thing that we are going to fall into, that same trap that we fell into with Eli Manning. Frank says, I got Frank NJ, a New York Frank says, good morning, gentlemen. Good day. Let's go, Mets. Let's go, Yankees. Mets, of course, 3-0.
That's right.
I told James yesterday that they're 3-0. I'm calling the season.
That's right. Start the playoffs. We're ready.
Now we're 3-0. Let's not even play the rest of the season because I was doing a video yesterday because I get worried about the Mets pitching. And actually, I'll tell you, my video is called Pains and Strains and Pray for Rain. Kind of the old Spawn and Sane and Pray for Rain back in the Cleveland days about our St. Louis Danes with the two best pitchers in baseball on the same team. You got to worry about the Mets. You got to worry about injuries. You got to worry about Scherzer's hammy. You got to worry about DeGrom's elbow. You got to even Walker's got a problem now. I mean, it's not
I've seen that
staff in the world. And I don't want to get into it again because I don't want to get into. We should have did the deal with San Diego.
Should have
Dom Smith because we would have gotten a starter back. Never should have got rid of Zach Wheeler. We should have offered him some type of contract, but then he let him to go to Philly. I mean, but we're not going to get into that. Tyrone says, thanks for wearing the Ohio State hoodie today, James. We're in mourning. Dwayne, sad. Now go back to the Giants. That's what we're going to do. Mark Thompson says, I've been guilty of focusing on cornerbacks, have lost 2 safeties. You could be a priority. Say the Giants will go the way in the draft or cross-train someone like Robinson. What do you think the approach is? I was saying this earlier. I like Trent McDuffie. Yeah, I know he's a little small at 5'11", at 180-something pounds. I know that. But I think his skill sets lend better to the safety position because the kid is a tackler. The kid has technique. And I think some other people now are starting to project him as a safety. I can see him being a swap role, and especially if you're stuck with James Bradbury, and I don't like to use that word stuck, but unless you're with James Bradbury, you could slide him into a safety slot and have him paired with Julian Love and Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, I like that because I think we're trying to play like musical chairs with Bradbury, hoping to get rid of him. But I don't. The way it's looking, I don't know what I don't know. I really don't know what, like, we can't like just give him away for nothing, right? But we need to still get under the cap. Like, we have serious. Our cap you've been talking about. The entire offseason is just.
I've been talking about it since the start of the beginning of last season.
It's just it's a mess, and this guy is coming in here. He's just trying to forget, like, actually, like, bringing in. He's just trying to clear a path so he can approach the draft and sign picks and function and start his process. He was left a kerfuffle of garbage. It's just a mess.
It's everywhere.
Our situation. We were left. He was left a real bad hand. By Dave, man. It's a real bad hand.
He was not left. And Mazinga is not banned today. Mazinga, I'm just trying to get to everyone's chats today. I see you out there. You're not banned. Levant says Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli was awesome, yo. I liked it. I saw some of their games. It
was cool for interesting. I'd flip back and forth. It was
perspective.
It was good. I like seeing them having a certain guests on there every now and then. It got a little silly sometimes away from the game, but it was, it was good for a switch, for a laugh.
Could DJ, John wants to know, could DJ ever be as good as Eli?
No.
They're different quarterbacks.
No. Not even gonna waste any more time on that.
Eli Manning, from what people say, well, they're like, well, we held on to Eli too long. Eli was still throwing 20-something touchdowns and playing 16 games. I mean, taking his team to 11-5 records and everything else. I mean, he just needed more time. What does Stu got to have to say? Seen some saying that Matt Carroll is the best quarterback in this year's class. What are your thoughts? I don't even have a thought on that. Because whoever says that,
they saying the same thing about the Riddler. I heard the same thing about Desmond Riddler, that he's the sleeper. He's the could be the Tom Brady esque pick of the draft, where a quarterback that could be the best one, but not one that people are talking about as the number one pick as far as quarterbacks.
Papa Lou says discount lineman. Wow, I like the notion. We're signing way too many discount linemen again. We're
doing some major Dollar Tree moves.
I am a big Phil Simms fan. I'm a huge Phil Simms fan. I got a Phil Simms autographed full-size helmet right behind me next to a Bradbury Mint Phil Simms statue. So yeah, I'm a big Phil Simms fan. It's Palm Sunday. It's Palm Sunday. Yes, it is Palm Sunday. Say yes, you're a heathen. We're all heathens, but we're all good heathens. Let's see. Greg has to say we should have a mock draft, and some of the other people in the chat should. We are going to have a mock draft. We are having a mock draft. One mock draft. We're having one. Sunday, April 24th. We have a bunch of subscribers, no content creators. It's all subscribers. If you want to be a part of it, just email me at tim@onlineBigBlue.com, tim@onlineBigBlue.com, and you can be a part of the mock draft. We're having one, James. One. That's
all we need. I told you I'm working on my little notes. I'm sure other people are doing the same, trying to just come up with our own little taste what we think may go down. Should be interesting, should be fun. We always see the experts on TV and what they think. I like to know what we think as fans, because
we'll call us the fan perts.
Yes. Everybody, just because you're on TV doesn't mean you're an expert. You're on TV.
Just because you're on YouTube doesn't mean you're an expert either. Or on Twitter or on Instagram. Touche, pussycat. Emmanuel Reese says Stingley's pro day is going well. Did you see his stock going? I still have Stingley on my big board as talent-wise. And I've said this before. I have him listed as a better talent than Sauce Gardner. I still have Stingley as number 4 on my big board. And yes, I know he's only played 10 games in the last 2 years. I know he's dealt with injuries, but you look at his measurables from when he was started at LSU. I don't know, I got UCLA. When he started at LSU as a freshman, as 19 years old, the talent's still there, the ability's still there, the athleticism's still there. And I've said it before, I got him ranked as 4. My board is ranked in my regards and my thought process in regards to talent, not where they should get drafted. And I think he is probably the 4th. If he would have came out after that freshman year, he would have been in the top 2 in my mind.
He would
But
definitely be up.
he's got to avoid the injuries.
And that's something hopefully our, Shane or our medical staff, that's something, I know you talked about it before on the stream and in your videos. Like we have to think about that as well. We had way too many skill position guys injured, last year, all with the same type of injuries, quads, hamstrings, whatever. So we have to pay attention to that too. We don't need to bring anybody with a serious injury history in here, or somebody that may, be great prospect or talent, but if they get hurt and then we're like nursing them for 3-4 years and they're not helping us on the field.
They're not helping if they play like 10 games a year.
Yeah, no, we need players who are going to come in, have an impact, and play.
Right.
And play.
Eli says, you didn't give me his name. I'm just going to call him the Last Dragon because of the reference. No, his name is Bruce Leroy. I told you that. Or James. Or James, whatever you want to call him. A better looking Bruce Leroy. He's got the power of the glow because there's a power deep inside you.
Oh, there's a power deep inside all of us, brother.
There's a power deep inside you. An innocence, the power of the glow. You got to do the hand thing. Sorry. Sorry.
What happened to movie soundtracks? It's another thing we'll get to on our podcast. Movie soundtracks. What happened to that? You don't hear them anymore.
We're gonna get that. Zach says for Daniel Jones, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 5 fumbles, 3,500 yards, 15 games. Stu says keep it under 10.
I would think about what Stu just said. He said keep it under 10. That's like wow, like under 10 fumbles. That's a lot of fumbles.
Is a good year.
That's like guy only had 7 fumbles. He's doing pretty good.
What round do you think taking a wide receiver is reasonable, and who would you pick? I think you could take a wide receiver in the second round. I think that's I still think that's reasonable because I'm like under the Shane philosophy that we need so many things it doesn't matter. I mean, I like the kid from Penn State. I like Dobson. I know he's only 5'11", and he might be college 5'11", but I still think he's a guy that's played in the pressure cooker at Happy Valley. He's a guy that's got some skills, and I think he would fit well in the offensive philosophy of the Dable.
The crazy thing is, you would think the beginning of last year, even thinking about drafting a wide receiver early, probably wouldn't even really been a thought if you really thought. But at the end of the year, when you look at it, it's who do we have? We had John Ross, who that guy's not, he's just like a guy you keep off the bench, if anything. Sterling Shepard, like he was supposed to be like our Steve Smith, Victor Cruz replacement, and I don't know if
James.
Bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G.
We got Kenny G.
Kenny G. Like,
come on. Bring it down a little bit, my brother. Bring it down. We got Kenny G.
How crazy is it to think that we signed a guy to a major deal and we don't even really know what he is as far as on our team? We saw what he did on the Lions with Stafford, but we don't know what this guy can be
in the dome.
In the dome. Kadarius Toney, which you talked about in length, before. I'm not going to go into it, but just saying the point of you wouldn't think that even like that Shane would be thinking about taking a wide receiver, but there's a lot of good wide receivers coming out in this draft. So you have to think about it.
You have to consider it. Frank says a good year for DJ, 22 total touchdowns, 12 turnovers is a good year for 17 games played.
And you know what, Frank? And the numbers that I'm seeing, it's you guys are not wrong, but just look at those numbers. Like even what Brother Greg put up, 3,500,
28, 15, 4. 38 total. So that means 300 yards rushing. These aren't mind-blowing numbers. Mr. Authentic is probably the only one over 4,000, 30 plus, below 17. But the thing is that nowadays is an average season.
Yeah.
Think about that. That to me, would put you in the top 10.
Like, go look at some of those years that Kirk Cousins had when he was on those 1-year deals and the numbers he was putting up. You know, like
Kirk Cousins always throws for 4,000 yards. Always.
oh no, but that's why I'm bringing it up. Like Kirk Cousins is not a guy that if you say his name, people go, "Oh, he could lead you to a Super Bowl. He's a super clutch quarterback." But Kirk Cousins is almost a guy that we're hoping some of us are hoping Daniel Jones could even, aspire to be. We've set the bar so low, and we are the New York Giants. We're the New York Giants. We need to raise this bar back up, and especially the way the offense is and the NFL, like those numbers that, and everybody's right, what they're saying, but it's just that's not impressive.
Here's the thing. In last year, 9 quarterbacks threw for over 4,000 yards. Another 3 quarterbacks threw for over 3,800. Another 3 quarterbacks threw for over 3,700. So you have the 9. So you have 15 quarterbacks that threw for over 3,700 yards in this league last year.
Come on. That's pretty much half.
And
so half the quarterbacks.
32 teams in the league. So I mean, to some ways, to Authentic's point, yeah, it's just Tiki Barber said it best. If you're not a top 10, top 15 quarterback with the Giants, why even bother?
Yeah, he actually, I saw that. I actually agreed with him right on. Like, if somebody goes, is Daniel Jones franchise quarterback? If you can't go, yes, right away, then it's over.
Move on.
That's it. We're at the point.
Yeah, all right, we're only at 53 likes, people. We got 92 people in the room. 53 likes. That doesn't add up. By my math, 53 likes, 92 people carry the 4. That we should have 9,000 likes, and we only have 54. So let's get those likes up for me, please.
Yeah, smash those likes, people. This is service. This is church service. We're all in here together. Smash those likes.
That's right, Greg. I got your 35. Let's see here. Dom is back online again. What does Eli says? His rookie year was not even good. It's only good if you look at his touchdowns and how many more of those games are turnovers and touchdowns in rookie season. He scored 1 touchdown per game, 7 over the last 12. I've said this a million times. You negate the 3 games that he had that rookie season. His stats are all the same. It's flatlined. It's all 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 10 touchdowns. It's the same numbers. It's not.
No, he's had, I'll be nice. He's had 6 really good games in 3 years.
I said 5.
I'll be nice. I said I'm being nice. It's Sunday, we all,
Oh, great. So I'm being mean, so I'm the one going to hell.
No, not at all, brother. You're just keeping it real. I'm giving him a little extra cushion. But six games in 3 years, and most of them are against Washington.
Maybe we can play Washington more often.
And I'm telling you right now, this year, even with the Wentz over there, like they're going to be a tougher team, at least for us.
It's not going to be a gimme game. Keystone says the pressure of Daniel Jones, knowing it's a make or break season for him, is going to be much more for him to overcome. Just move on from Jones and start completely anew. I added the anew part. I don't disagree. I don't. You are rolling. We rolled the dice last year. We pushed all the chips. Literally, we pushed all the chips, including this year's chips, into the middle of the table last year. Roll the dice and hit craps. Are we going to do that again with Daniel Jones?
What's the definition of insanity, people?
Daniel Jones.
Doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result.
T-Brad says everyone would be happy if Daniel turned the corner and looked like the next Josh Allen, but realists are just comfortable saying we doubt this will happen, but we are so-called haters. That's true. We're not hating on Daniel Jones. We're pointing out facts about Daniel Jones. We're pointing out the facts that have played out over the last 3 seasons, because when your head coach, not your head coach, when your owner comes out and says, well, we screwed this kid up because he needs a better offensive line, a better wide receiver, a better running back, a better skilled talents around him. You need the wind to be at the right direction. You need to be exactly 72 degrees. You have to have the grass cut exactly 3/4 of an inch off the ground, completely level. You need the summer equinox, and all this happens, then Daniel Jones is going to be great.
And there has to be a rainbow in the sky.
There's got to be a rainbow in the sky and unicorns shitting out Skittles. It's got to be great. But you know what? The NFL is not a perfect league.
No.
Not everything can be perfect for you. And that's what I think that's the problem we have. What does John say? John says 25, 30 touchdowns, less than 12 turnovers. Like I said, I'm not blown away by these numbers that people are coming up with. Like I said, Mr. Authentic was the only one that has blown me away. Not even blown me with the way of the numbers, but I think has been, watch this, ready for this? That I think has been authentic.
Use the pun. Ooh, double entendre.
No pun intended. Because I'm big pun. I don't want to be a player no more. I just crush a lot. But that's the problem. You need
one of the greatest.
Yeah, I know. I laugh because we have you have cell phones, so we track our family and stuff because that's what what you do because you're on the Apple network and all that. And everyone has a picture of there, and everyone has a different picture. And my picture, of course, is of Biggie Smalls.
So wait a minute. So when your wife is tracking you,
she's
a picture of Biggie Smalls is on her phone, and you're like
she's tracking
on a map somewhere.
He's tracking a picture of Biggie Smalls.
That's hilarious.
I want to put something like when she clicks on the picture, it goes Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. Can't you see? Sometimes you
that's funny.
Me. That's what I want to have come up when she clicks on.
That's hilarious, man. That's classic. I would have I thought you would have a picture of a shark.
No,
so
I know
like
you would.
She's looking at like a shark finder, like she's tracking you somewhere out.
She's tracking you in the ocean. G says, I think more importantly than the numbers, DJ is the first and foremost on the field. Yeah, he's got to be on the field.
Yeah.
That should have been the question. That should have been the question. How many games should Daniel Jones be a part of or play for it to be considered a successful season?
How about this? Let's say he plays 15 out of 17.
Okay.
And it's like, let's say he looks halfway decent, but he still misses 2 games. That would mean in his 4 years, he's never played a full season.
Yeah.
Even if he has a decent year with the numbers throwing, the ball, can you trust a guy who in 4 years has never played a full season and he's injury prone?
But I'm going to be the devil's advocate right now. There's 17. We play 17 games now. So really, he has only missed 1 game out of 16. But see, this is what the DJ lovers are apologists.
No, you're right. You're right. Tomato to me, it's we're at the point now where it's just, what am I looking at here? It's like, what is this? What's going on? It's like, is it red? Is it magenta? No, it's crimson.
It's crimson. it's Crimson Tide. Because you know what color Arabians are? Arabian horses.
Oh, yes, it's a classic line. That was a great movie. It's another great movie, Crimson Tide. Wow.
Hurst for real says DJ can turn the corner, but he will still continue over the curve and onto the lawn.
Oh, that's a good one. Hirsch, that's a good one, yo.
I can't find the button.
That's a classic one,
Oh, wait, I found the button. It's Daniel Jones at the 5. It's Daniel Jones at never mind.
But that soundbite is the last thing I said. I'm not gonna pound on this kid, the whole stream. But it's that moment, like that should have been the moment for everybody. It was national team. We were all watching the game. Everybody's watching the game. Giants fans. For this kid to face plant like that, like Little Rascal style.
Listen, he got to the 25. He got to the 25, and you saw him stumbling. I remember sitting there going, "He's not going to make it. There's no way he's not going to make it. How do you not make it with nobody even around you?"
The other Giants players, they're all pointing, they're all salute, and then they just turn around like, oh, he fell down.
He's on the ground. Hirschfield says mock drafts are fine, but please no more mock draft turtlenecks. No mock draft turtlenecks. I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
I don't know. Did you have guys in turtlenecks on during the draft? Were you and Dom wearing turtlenecks during your draft stream last year?
Mr. Rosetti says to Zach, "Oh, lol, that's me for mayor. That might be 12 and 10. It might be 12 and 10.
Oh,
Nikki's in the room, and Nikki says thoughts on the Giants signing Roy. I can never say his name. Apparently, is discovered by Osa Umenyiora. People believe he's a hidden gem.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up and ask you about it. I don't know too much about that guy. I tried to look into him a little bit last night. But yeah, but what did you think of? I loved Human. You know, when we had
I got my
OC.
I got my OC jersey still hanging up in the closet. Here's my thing. You have from NFL Europe, what's his name? Plotzengammer. You have him, and last year he ran for 50 yards against what I refer to as the Home Depot team.
The Home Depot team.
So it's all guys that are going to be working at Home Depot. And everyone was like, oh, he should make the roster. And then you saw all the terrible things that he couldn't block, couldn't catch, couldn't do a lot of things. He's a project. And that's what this kid is. He's a project. He's never really played football till recently. You can't expect him to turn a corner and be an NFL tackle or guard or center. You got guys that were in college for 4 years that come into the league and wash out.
Yeah.
You hope he's something? Of course. Because we need offensive. We need all the offensive line help we can get. Will he be something? I don't know. I've said it before. You can't tell me. It's the same thing with Daniel Jones. You can't tell me he's going to be a player. I can't tell you he's not going to be a player. Only thing that's going to lead to this and dictate this is what we see on the field.
Yeah, we're in a life is a results game and football is a results business.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. We need results. You know, like I have no problem with because I think that's something the Giants don't do enough is sometimes maybe go outside the box, try something different, you know, in their franchise history. So I don't have a problem with that. However, we can't look at, like you said, projects or what could be or what might be and think that's more important than taking the sure thing. Or at least, and nothing is 100% sure in life except for death and taxes.
Very good.
But thank you very much.
That's my line.
But but you got to take at least the closest thing to it, or what appears to be the closest thing to it. You know, it's not so much just reaching all the time. Reach every now and then is cool, but take something or take a guy that looks like he looks like closer to a sure thing than a hope thing.
Right. And hope springs eternal. Authentic says, I think James did ask them. I thought, oh no, we did ask. We asked about what Daniel Jones stats are going to be. LJ is in the house. What's up, LJ? LJ got his draft baby.
Draft baby. Yeah.
Got his draft baby. Yeah. T-shirt the other day. Oh Lord, he's singing again. Nobody's singing. I'm not singing. I like Marcus. I like McDuffie too. Very versatile, positional flexibility. I like Dobson. Dobson's my guy, but he won't fall. I don't know if he won't fall. I think Dobson could be a 36. I think he'll be somewhere around there.
We never know. You know, everybody has 1,000 mock drafts leading up to the real draft because you just don't know. You know, I say again that one of the biggest surprises I've had in probably like 30 years of my life of watching football was the day before the draft. And I'll never forget this. I'm having a drink and I'm watching something on ESPN. And I think it was Mel or Todd. He came on. He was just like, well, the Giants are really looking at Daniel Jones out of Duke. And I was like, Daniel Jones out of Duke.
Oh, I told you that story that
what the heck is that?
2 days before the draft, they said there's a surprise team in the top 10 that's looking hard at Daniel Jones. Could draft Daniel Jones in the top 10. I said, dear Lord, please don't be the Giants. I was like,
you know, like like we've had some real surprises. Even with I'm looking even with the Michael Parsons. I'm like, oh, Michael Parsons is there. This guy is athletic linebacker. We need a linebacker. We haven't had a slew of great linebackers since the Taylor and Carson, and Banks days. Oh, thought that would have
we could use the Josh Allen too, the linebacker out of Kentucky.
It's just we've had some real surprises the last few years.
We've had multitudes of surprises, and sometimes surprises are a good thing. Sometimes surprises are a bad thing.
Even the Evan Ingram. That's another looks like, oh, he's athletic, he's fast. He his biceps look good in a t-shirt. It's like I don't.
Jones kept gaining weight. John Woo. I'm thinking Woo. I'm thinking the movie John Woo. John says, got to move on from Daniel Jones. Got to go, Daniel Jones. Drafting stout players from Lord Dyson. Big Blue Forever says, thought you said there was going to be a call-in guest. Oh, yeah, I did say that. I did say that. Maybe I lied. I thought there was going to be a special call-in guest too. Maybe I lied.
Maybe they got caught up.
Maybe they got caught it. Maybe they
something
got
happened.
caught it. Maybe they got caught up scouting.
Ooh.
Maybe
Life happens.
Life happens. LJ says we can't pay a quarterback money just on decent performances. You're right. You gave Tyrod Taylor low-end starter money. And
That's a lot of money for a backup.
And I love it because once again, during the owners' meetings, Giants came out and said, Daniel Jones is our quarterback. He's number one on the depth chart. And I love it because I think he does protest too much. Because why do you need to keep telling us Daniel Jones is the starter? Why does this even need to come up?
It's almost like he's trying to convince himself.
Thank you. It's almost like he's trying to convince himself.
It's like, let it go. Let it go, John.
Let it go. He will be benched. He'll be benched by week 9. Bryce Young. I'm not seeing Bryce Young. But as this mark my words, Tyrod Taylor will at least lead us to 10 and the first in the division. Listen, I'm a Tyrod Taylor guy because I think, like I said, he's the OG QB in my mind. Because, like I said, you see where he dresses, what he drives, his girlfriend.
Oh yes, go Google Tyrod Taylor's girlfriend and tell me about his decision making.
Yeah, because we never see Daniel Jones's girlfriend.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Tyrod Taylor, like I said, it reminds me of the movie Moneyball when the scouts are all sitting around and they look at one scout says, he's got an ugly girlfriend, can't hit, ugly girlfriend, no confidence. And then someone sent me Tyrod Taylor's girlfriend, and I guess she's like an Instagram model or something.
Oh yeah, she's yeah.
And then I thought of the line from Moneyball, and that's why I dubbed Tyrod Taylor the OG QB. That's his name. That's what he should it should just be like the old XFL days. He should just put that on the back of his jersey. Like, he hate me.
Hey, the guy has good taste and seems like he makes pretty good decisions in his personal life anyway.
He makes good decisions on the field and off the field.
Hey, that's pretty good. Hey, if you get her to come with you and walk with you around town, you're doing something right. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, people.
What is it? What Daniel says? Every no-name a Giant sign is a hidden gem. You're right. Anyone the Giant signs, it's a hidden gem.
Oh, do you see that? Do you guys see that in the chat? Or other YouTubers or like we'll sign some guy and it's like, oh, this guy, well, he played 4 years at Jacksonville and he was there and he had 8 good games out of whatever, and the analytics said that he didn't give up a sack in 1 3/4 and it's like, what? I never even heard of this guy. I never even heard of this guy. We're signing the reserve or backup players from other teams that are coming over here. Hopefully they're probably going to be a starter, and people are like, oh yeah, this guy's going to be serviceable. He's gonna help the line, and it's like, well, I mean,
it's gonna help the line doesn't mean it's gonna.
I mean, he's gonna help. Help the line. What is your definition of help?
We know what help is. I guess the definition of help is not hurting.
Yeah. That's true. But it's like, is he gonna come in and play 16 out of the 17? Is he gonna be? Can he pass block? Can he run block? What is the definition of help? These guys were getting, like you said, Shane is doing what he has to do. He's doing what
Shane is doing what he has to do to get through this season.
Yes.
And he has basically extolled that multitudes of times that he is doing this just to get through, get into the cap space, get into the positive. John says rumors are Daniel Jones' 5th-year option will be. I don't see the 5th-year option being extended.
No, that cannot be. There
could be rumors about it, but I can't.
I'll say it so Tim doesn't have to, because Tim is a good guy and I love him. I don't want. If we extend Daniel Jones' 5th year,
you're gonna run out of the house screaming.
We might as well just put the straight jacket on and strap in for the ride, because it's gonna get nuts.
If you have $100 million in cap space next year, you're gonna give 20% of that to Daniel Jones. I don't see it. We've seen how Shane does the cap. We've seen how he works the numbers. I don't agree with the Logan Ryan thing because he could have used one of his June 1st post cuts exemptions on him and saved that money. But it also would have kicked, and this is the thing he didn't do it. It would have kicked $3 million can down the road into 2023. That's why he didn't do it. Because he's saving that money. He's squirreling the money away. He's making the nest egg huge so the Giants can not overpay and overextend in free agency, but having what I refer to as operational cap space.
Yes.
For the next couple of years to rebuild this organization and potentially sign the draft picks that we have. And we only have 66 likes. I need to get to at least 75 with 101 people in the room.
Come on, people. Hit those likes, baby.
Hit the like button. Because if you don't hit the like button, I don't know. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Judge never liked Parsons. I could see that.
Well, I mean, Judge liked Daniel Jones. So, I mean, and Dave, what was the guy? David Stills, the wide receiver?
David Stills. David Stills the fifth. Yeah.
What was his eye for talent?
His eye. David Stills, he's part of the Thurston Howell the third. David Stills the fifth. Such a great wide receiver of Michigan. But he only played 2 years, and now he's a Victor Cruz. He's been on the roster for 3 freaking years.
Give me a break.
It has done nothing. I could do nothing to be on the roster for 3 years. I could do nothing to be on the roster for 5 years.
Is that another? That's another like project, guy that we hope was going to turn into something, right? And we just talk about that, about projects and hopes and hope players.
And that's what I hope we get. That's what I hope. Oh, pun again. That's what I hope we get away from. I hope we get away from. I hope. Mr. Authentic says, last year, the day of the draft, I was on the Xbox with a random dude, and he told me verbatim, we are going to draft this kid, Kadarius Toney. Was it Kadarius Toney? Telling you that.
Can you imagine that? He's only like, yeah, man, I'm about to get drafted.
That would have been funny as hell.
That would have been.
They're going to draft me. Or was it DeAndre Baker? Because if I recall properly, Nino Brown was playing Xbox at the time the robberies were committed.
Oh, my God.
Just being honest. That was his excuse at one point. I was playing Xbox.
Well, if you don't got your alibi straight, then that's you poor Nino Brown. He's poor Nino Brown. Poor man's Nino.
Poor man's Nino Brown. He's more of a G Money Wells, but that was the problem. That was his issue. That was what he said. And then, of course, the Xbox couldn't confirm it that he was online playing his account. I love that. Xbox was like,
I bet.
They were like, what? Death taxes and Daniel Jones throwing 12 touchdowns a season. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it's just we got to raise the bar. We got to raise the bar in Giantland. We've been in mediocrity, and Drea. Yeah, thank you, LJ. Yes,
you, LJ. I knew LJ would come up with it because
Google Drea Michelle. People, when you're bored later, just
LJ's just his pimp, so you knew LJ. LJ probably knows her.
I hope he does for brother LJ.
I know he's probably wearing. He's probably wearing his.
Welcome to the
draft, baby. Yeah,
he's wearing his draft, baby. Yeah, shirt. Out on South Street. He probably knows her. I know it.
Oh, and if sorry, if Donnell is in here, I can't see the chat, but if brother Donnell is in here, don't forget about our bet. Poppycocker's hoodie. Poppycocker's hoodie.
All the Cocker Cash coming up here. Cocker Cash says the Poppycocker is going to be open Easter Sunday. I need to do something after church services. I just love that there's a Cocker Cash account somewhere out there. That someone literally went out there and typed in Cocker Cash, got the Poppycocker logo, and made an account. I think that is the greatest thing ever.
That phrase is trademarked, not to use it as permission to Ricky Bobby.
That actually, Poppycockers and Cocker Cash is trademarked.
As it should be.
That's how awesome that is. That's how awesome it is. What does Zach Attack says? Passing attempts 1,452, completions 900 percentage, passer rate 80. What? Oh, Tyrod Taylor stats. Okay.
Oh, okay. Got it. Exactly. Of course, with the crunching the numbers, Big Zach, as always.
Dropping knowledge, crunching the numbers. That's what it's here for. What does John said? Some verified guy on Twitter said the Giants will extend Daniel Jones' fifth. They're not going to extend this fifth. I don't.
Yeah, no. Who's the verified guy? It's guy in his grandma's basement.
I'm verified on Twitter.
Yeah, we're on YouTube right now. We're all verified. Everybody in the chat, we're all verified.
I'm on YouTube. So that means I have more of an information. Not only are they going to extend the 5th-year option, they're picking up the 6th.
And we're going to sign Leonard Williams to a new deal because he's going to have a great year this year.
How bad do you think that Shane is sitting there right now looking at Leonard Williams' contract, Adoree Jackson's contract, Kenny G's contract, and say we were still giving $3 million to what's his name, Kyle Rudolph. we're giving a boatload of money to Logan Ryan to go away. How do you think he's just sitting there in his office going?
You know, it's like we hired a bunch of mercenaries instead of getting like homegrown loyal talent.
Yep.
You know, like we hired a bunch of, like, if we were a mafia family, we didn't have the guys we grew up in the neighborhood with. We didn't have the people in our family. You know, we went out and got outside guns, hired guns, and those guys don't have any aim. You know, we just threw money at the wall and hoped that would fix the problem. That's all Dave did. Because if the signings, I mean, like you said, the Kyle Rudolph, whoa.
We're still giving Kyle Rudolph money to go away.
Think about the guys he brought in from Carolina. You know, I mean, Bradbury, as much as we're trying to trade him now, when he first came, that was actually a good signing. It's, you know, like Bradbury, you know, he came in, actually produced. But Stewart, you know, the running back, like we brought over, we just, I mean, the signings, the draftings. I mean, you talk about digging yourself a hole and then just like piling the dirt on yourself, you know?
You want to really cry? You want to cry?
What? Of course. Not really, but you know what? What?
You're still paying Sam Beal.
Oh, Sam Beal, that's another guy. It's supposed to be, you know, this guy has talent. He's going to be you know, this guy's going to turn into like the man. Like that's another. It's like, stop taking these projects and these hopes. You know, Sam. Like, come on. There's always hope.
There's always hope. Hope springs eternal, from what I hear. From what I hear.
Oh, Sam Beal, that's another one. Like, how many of these Sam Beal, David Stills, you know, these guys, they're gonna turn into something. It's gonna be a steal. It's a steal.
Madre Harper. We stole Madre Harper 2 years ago from the practice squad of the Las Vegas Raiders, and I sat there and said, "Well, he's a big kid. He's got speed. He just can't cover anybody." And you don't remember Madre Harper's name, so that's how.
Yeah, I mean, I got news for you. You said that. I'm secretly over here trying to be like, Madre Harper. Let me look this. Try to look this up. I don't even know what you're talking about. I gotta be real. I'm like, Harper. What the guy was that guy doing? Handing out Gatorade on the sideline?
But we stole him from the Raiders. We stole him, and Joe even said we stole him.
Oh, you mean like we stole Jake Fromm from the Bills practice squad because we thought he was going to come in here? That's embarrassing. Like, think about that. We signed Jake Fromm from the Bills practice squad. Our coaches watched that guy in practice and then put him on the field on a nationally televised game. That was embarrassing, man. That was one of my low points as a Giants fan. Watching Jake Fromm try to complete a 10-yard out and having the ball literally die 8 yards, and having the receiver be like, "Oh my God!"
How long did it take that ball to go from his hands? And I remember that it was his first throw. How long did it take for that ball to go from his hands 10 yards to the sideline? I mean, literally at one point I was like,
that was bad, man. that was pretty bad, man. You know, and I love that. Like, I was checking, you know, who's free agents, who's people out here who's still unsigned. And then as far as, you know, Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm, I see them on the list, and I'm like, yeah, those guys should not have jobs in the NFL.
No.
They should not have jobs.
Says super late today. I was up super late at the Poppycockers. Everyone's at the Poppycockers. And if you're not, I'm wearing my Poppycockers hoodie. Make sure you get your Poppycockers, the best in London hoodie. Got mine on today because I couldn't find any clean laundry.
And I'm gonna make sure Dom gets Hennessy wings in there. Don't worry, brother. Dom, I'm gonna Hennessy wings. We're gonna teach you what Hennessy wings are, brother. Don't worry. We're gonna have those in Poppycockers. We need those. Those are delicious. You'll love them, Dom. You'll love them, Dom.
You'll love them. And evidently that his girlfriend was on Hip Hop Love and Hip Hop, the TV reality show. Did not know that. These are the things.
She's definitely a social media, whatever. Like, you
social
know,
media. I saw she was on social media. Zach said the Giants or Jets are having a battle for the worst beat writers. Well, I think the Giants are winning on that one.
yeah, you know, it's, you know, it's, think about this, you know, like we as Giants fans, you know, like we, you know, make fun of our little brothers, but who's in a better position right now going into next year? Who would you really rather be?
The Jets.
They have money. They have a young quarterback that they're hoping to still turn into something because they moved off their other quarterback that they realized was not the guy.
3 years.
You know, they have some draft picks. You know, I know in Jetsland, you know, my boys, they're talking about maybe should they draft a wide receiver or maybe try to trade for a DK Metcalf type, you know, or something like that. So the Jets
came out and said they're not moving on from him.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just saying from the Jets
for all the people
perspective.
for all the people that were high.
You know, yeah. So, you know, it's from the Jets perspective, they're actually in a position where they can make some moves if they make the right decisions, free agency, draft. You know, if Wilson develops another year, then they're actually progressing.
Right.
You know, we're just trying to get on the damn starting block. You know, like
they were in on the Tyreek Hill. I know Tyreek Hill use them. I love it because one of our Anthony, is a weatherman, and I can't remember his login name or his but he's a big supporter of the channel. He's actually a weatherman, and it's funny because he actually got to meet Tyreek Hill.
Oh, cool!
He sent me the video, and I asked, I get to ask him if I could play it on like the channel, and he actually thanked him for not becoming a Jet. So I thought that was pretty funny that he thanked Tyreek Hill for not becoming a Jet.
Yeah, I've also heard that too from Jets' perspective that because they would have obviously had to give up a lot, I guess, with the draft picks to get him, and I guess when some fans feel like we could best use those assets somewhere else than just on one guy. We're not one wide receiver. It would be a nice splash for Jets fans to have that, but I understand both sides of the argument. With the Tyreek Hill thing, but the fact that they were even in the mix, like they were in the Tyreek Hill sweepstakes. We won the Kenny G raffle
when Corey Davis got $36 million, and we paid $72. And I know people will be like, "Well, that's not what's guaranteed." And well, you don't look in the NFL. Yes, it's actually total. They look at total contract value, not just the guaranteed money. but beat writers, people throw that out there, and then the neophytes sit there and go, "Well, that doesn't mean that's guaranteed." Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's like with the Tyrod deal, right? The same thing, right? Like with the incentives.
Incentives. Stu's verified. Well, Stu quote something, Stu. Also, no call in also 12. Oh, I guess no, the other person I was supposed to call in is not calling in. So because we're gonna be wrapping this up shortly. But no, I guess that person's not calling in. I assume that's what you're talking about. The cap hell he put us in is worse. It's bad.
It's bad.
We're gonna get through it.
We are slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, we're gonna get through it. Razzle the Great says Harper who? Am I the only one that remembers Madre Harper? Am I the only one, number 45, that remembers Madre?
I think you are, because I'm gonna tell you right now. When we get off this thing, I gotta Google that.
Google Madre Harper.
I gotta Google it and text you after and be like, "Oh wow, yeah." No, I don't remember him at all.
John Beeson, LJ says, I thought Beeson was gonna pan out first. John Beeson, of course, was over at Carolina. He was a great linebacker. He got hurt a bunch of years. He came over, had a 7 good game stretch for the Giants. 7 good games. Then we signed him, and he got hurt again.
Yeah, the Giants. The last few, we've done a lot of Knicks moves. If you're a Knicks fan, anybody, we've done a lot. We've signed guys that used to be good on other teams, and then we throw them a lot of money when they're either injured or old or past the prime or past just the point of being what they were, and they come over here and it's not the same.
No,
it's not the same. It's
so bad, Mike says. The international signing of the prospects we heard of John Hood of Militia, not guaranteeing he'll even make the team. It is what it is. But so we're not going to get into the international guys because we'll have to wait and see. It's a wait and see moment. Jake from State Farm can throw a better spot. Which one? There's 2 Jake from State Farms. The one that took the other guy his job and does all the now, the other guy. The other guy's pretty buff.
He is.
He
is. I would bet he'd probably get out there and outthrow the Fromm.
Yeah,
I'd put money on that.
From the time Jake hiked the ball to every time he threw it, my receiver kids were able to pass his driver's license exam.
That's pretty bad, man. Like
I don't think it was that bad.
I don't know, like Tim, and I know you've seen a lot more, Giants games than I have, but that Mike Glennon and Jake, that had to be a real low point in Giants. Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm out there, the way they were looking through that had to be there
was a quarterback for the Giants years ago, and he never got into a game. Mike Reed was his name, and this is going back in the 80s, and he was just god awful. I mean, Scott, I always talk about how bad Scott Bruner was, and he actually won a playoff game against Dallas back in the early 80s. But this guy, Mike Reed, I mean, Mike Reed made Jake from State Farm look like Dan Marino. So we've had some bad ones. We've had some bad ones. Seahawks are saying they're not going to. AJ says they're not going to trade.
Right.
I agree. Authentic says I'm worried more for Zach Wilson than I am Daniel Jones, simply because Josh Johnson and Mike can't remember his last name. Mike White. Mike White's his last name. Came in and balled out when Wilson was hurt. I just thought it was funny with the Jets and we've talked about this during Zach Wilson's pro day, that he ran to the side of the field and threw to the other side of the field and dropped a beautiful pass on the corner of the end zone. And then the one guy pointed out the video of Sam Darnold doing the exact same thing in a game. So it's like, look, Eric Flowers is still in the league. I believe he's back in Washington now.
A guy that we couldn't do anything with, somehow Washington turned him into a somewhat serviceable starter.
Because they shifted him to the inside. Mr. Authentic says, I remember Madre. He wore 38 or something. I don't remember what. I could be 30. I don't remember what numbers were. I just remember we stole him. And I remember doing some research, looking into him, and some people in LA or Las Vegas were like, he can't cover anybody.
we thought we were getting
can't cover.
We thought we were getting a steal. Meanwhile, we were the ones getting robbed.
That's a bad combination when you have a great guy with speed who can't cover. That is a bad combination to be a corner. That's like being a quarterback who can't throw. I'm not looking at you, Jake. I'm just talking to other people.
Well, just think about that. Tim Tebow has a better highlight package in the NFL than Daniel Jones. Just think about that. Tim Tebow highlights in the NFL are more exciting. He's won a playoff game, and his highlights are more exciting than Dan. Just think about that. You could, whatever you think of Tim Tebow, whatever, and he's tried out for my Mets, which was crazy, but his highlight package as an NFL player are more exciting than Daniel Jones.
He won games in the NFL. He won a playoff game, and like I said, I've said this a million times. Tim Tebow is Jesus's quarterback. He really is, because some of the stuff that went on that season in Denver.
Miracles.
I remember one game they were down by like 15, but I think it was against Miami, against like 2 minutes left, and somehow he scored all these points and they won the game in the final 2 minutes.
Tim, you know this. Tim, they were down every game. And somehow he pulled, like you said, a Jesus miracle and won the game on like some last second or overtime throw. I mean, it is what it is. And he did what he did. And he's not a great quarterback. We know that. But just his highlight package is better than our guy. Yet people still defend this guy that we have.
Daniel Jones has played more games than Tim Tebow.
Oh, yeah. But not as many playoff wins.
No. Greg, my email is tim@onlineBigBlue.com. It's tim@onlineBigBlue.com. Let's wrap up some of these quick questions here, because I do want to jump out of here because it is a nice day. Danny Cannell actually was not a bad quarterback. Danny Cannell got the Giants to a playoff. It was the combination of Danny Cannell and Kent Graham. Jesse Palmer.
Listen,
The
Bachelor, right? He was the Bachelor, right?
I will defend Jesse Palmer till the day I die. I've told this story, and I will never completely tell the story. After the Louisville game in Gainesville, not Gainesville, in Gainesville. It was Gainesville, yeah, because they just beat Louisville. I ran into him in a club, Jesse Palmer.
Oh wow, this should be good.
I can't tell the story, and I spent 4 or 5 hours with Jesse Palmer and all of his friends. So
Wow.
I will never say anything ill about Jesse Palmer because I will tell you this. Back then, Jesse Palmer still had the hair too going on before he was a bachelor. Jesse Palmer was the bachelor before the bachelor. And I'm going to say that right now. I saw that firsthand. And he was not even that great at Florida. But he was the bachelor before the bachelor. So I will never say anything ill against Jesse Palmer, ever.
Okay. So again, he had good decision-making skills, like
off the field
intangibles.
Yes, he did. So I will never knock
The Bachelor.
I will never knock the Bachelor. What about Kyle Lauletta? Yeah, Kyle Lauletta just stunk when he did get in the game for a little bit.
Kyle Lauletta, is he the guy? He doesn't know how to stop at stop signs. Is that him or is that the other guy?
Which guy?
Within one of our oh no, that was our kicker, right? Didn't he like get into an accident or some crap and we had to let him?
Yeah, that's true. The key, let's see, we couldn't assign Golden Tate. What is it? Danny Cannell got us to the playoffs, 52, 11-9, 10 starts. He was 7-2. Daniel Jones numbers, but he got us to the playoffs.
Look at those numbers, authentic. Look at those numbers, authentic. Oh God, 11-9.
Yeah, Danny Cannell, but the problem was again, Danny Cannell, what year was that? And then we'll talk about the numbers for a second. We'll talk about because again, like I said, everyone's always comparing stats to now. After 2005,
it was a totally different league back then. Totally different league.
After 2005, totally different league. Phil Simms had numbers that you would be like, Phil Simms threw for what 22 touchdowns and 20 interceptions in '86, and they won the Super Bowl. But it's a different passing league.
The things defenders were able to do, in the secondary and even hitting the quarterback back in the day, it's totally different. The physicality that you were able to impose on the offense from a defensive perspective was far more great than what it is now, what they allow now. And Danny Cannell had a much better college career than Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Danny Cannell, when he was in college, much like Haskins or some of these other, at least like some of these guys, they don't pan out in the NFL, but at least you could say, okay, well, he had a college career. He was a star there. You could see where, okay, somebody might want to take a chance on him. And then there's guys who get drafted and it's like, well, what did this guy do that was so special? But Danny Cannell did have a good college career. And
Danny Cannell, as Mr. Authentic points out, it was 97. And it was a lot different because Phil Simms retired in 93. He retired in 93, and the Giants went through the quarterback desert. Now, people forget, maybe Mr. Authentic doesn't remember, people forget when we had Danny Cannell and Kent Graham together with Dan Reeves and everything else, the Giants actually thought they had a quarterback combination. For as bad as Danny Cannell was, the Giants still believed, and this is kind of the point that I want to bring up about Daniel Jones. The Giants still believed they had something because Danny Cannell did take them to a 7-2 record and to the playoffs. And I think the biggest issue is that's the problem. They believed in him so much. And same with Kent Graham, because Danny Cannell was on the team from 96 to 98. They believed in him so much that they passed on drafting a quarterback. Yeah. They passed on moving away from, finding someone in the draft that could help them, because I remember some of Kent Graham's games. Kent Graham I remember the Washington game in the Meadowlands. Kent Graham was a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, that was pretty bad. He was pretty bad. Now most people also forget that Danny Cannell got us to the playoff. We lost to Minnesota. I think it was 23-22. It was. And he still threw for almost 200 yards and a touchdown. So they thought they had something. The Giants thought they had something. And then when they played together with Kent Graham led the Giants the next season to a 5-1 record and got them at 8-8. So it was a combination of Graham and Cannell. And I've said this before, that screwed up the Giants for years and the Dave Brown situation. So you never know what you think you have until it's sitting there directly in front of you. But the problem is, anyone can go back. I'm not picking on authentic, but anyone can go back and look at history as it being revisionistic. Because if you were living in the moment in the 90s, you thought you had something with Cannell and Graham. It's kind of, and I'm only bringing this back, and I'm going to bring this around because that leads me into Daniel Jones. People still want to believe and still think they have something where it's just like the Kent Graham, Danny Cannell situation. It's just not there. And it's going to hurt your franchise the longer you hold on to that situation.
Well, it's just the thing, if you look at what other teams and franchises have done in the last few years, it's just other teams have had better quarterbacks and have actually produced more wins, and they've moved on for those guys already. The Carson Wentz with the Colts was one game away from the playoffs, and they said, no, we just, this guy on the field, off the field, we don't like the mix. Moved off from him. Josh Rosen in Arizona, he wasn't even there long enough probably to buy a house.
He wasn't even there for the coffee to get cold because they always a cup of coffee. The coffee didn't even
moved off for him. Then Rosen went to Miami and I don't even think he started a game. I don't. So then they were like, no, we need a quarterback. The Packers drafted whatever you think of him, but they drafted a quarterback, and they have Aaron Rodgers. Jimmy G took a team, was Emmanuel Sanders' misthrow away from winning a Super Bowl, and then they took a quarterback a couple of years later to the point that they're sitting here now where we don't know, is it Trey Lance, Jimmy G? What are they doing over there,
I says, no, bro. In 1997, we're not looking at Cannell. Yes, we were looking at Cannell. I'll tell you right now, 100% we were llooking. I wasn't in high school. We were looking at Cannell as the future. We were. And that's what I said before. He struggled the next season, got benched. Graham went 5-1 at the end. It took the Giants to 8-8. And I'm going to tell you right now, as a Giant fan, as a person that was in that stadium multiple times, the Giants as an organization thought they had something with that combination.
I remember the Cannell. I think I was authentic in school at the time, but I remember the Cannell. It was I always remember this guy because I watched a lot of Florida games going to watch Danny Warfel. And in college, it's you watch in college, it was oh, this guy, but just college quarterbacks, players don't always transfer to the pros, especially the quarterbacks. I mean,
Danny Warfel. Tupac. Danny Warfel is something, if you want to talk about this, Danny Warfel went to Green Bay, went to other places. Then he went to Washington when Spurrier went to Washington. Spurrier made Danny Warfel his starting quarterback because of the fact that he knew the system that he was going to run from his Gator days. How'd that turn out?
Yeah. They tried to do what Kingsbury and Murray in Arizona,
right.
Obviously Murray's a much better quarterback, but yeah, he tried the college coach said, I got my guy, I know my guy, I know the success we had. We're gonna transfer that over here to the pros. Nope.
No, I remember when because I got some friends that are big Washington fans. I remember when they got Warfel, they'd signed Warfel, and he was gonna run the offense.
Oh yeah,
Spurrier. And I liked I liked him a lot, but I remember this, and I remember sitting there going, "This is not going to work. This is going to be really bad." And then I love Steve Spurrier because halfway through his first season as a coach, he basically said, "This pro shit is hard."
Yeah.
Because when he was in Gainesville, he would talk about the fact that he would go play golf. He would do everything else. That he would just go out and just do what he wants to do. But he's got to work. It's as the coach.
It's a lot different. Listen, Urban Meyer thought he was going to come in here and half and just treat grown men like he does. I guess a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds, and thought that using those same tactics were going to work. And no, and I appreciate Spurrier's honesty. We need that more. Where hey, you know what? This crap is tough. This is real. This is we have a lot of smart people.
This is real. He went back to South Carolina.
That's you got out of town.
But I will never forget that interview. He was like, "Yeah, it's tough." He's like, "I'm used to rolling in at 11, hanging out till 1 or 2, go hitting some golf balls."
Yeah, like the who's the dude on the Falcons? He left in the middle of the night. The coach. Oh, God, he ran back to. I can't think of his name, but yeah, you see that a lot, man. Guys come over here think it's, oh, I'm going to do the same thing I did over there. No.
Average plays make it difficult to assess quarterbacks. Kent Graham were always average, never great. No, but this is the problem. You need to live in the moment. I can talk about the 97 season in 2022 and tell you this, but in the moment, I will tell you this right now. You read the New York Post, you read the Daily News, USA Today, when they used to have a newspaper a long time ago. You read the back pages of the papers. Go back and Google those pages. You'll see like Danny the Great, this and this. I'm telling you, it's the same situation, because if you look at it statistically, they are the same as, drum roll, Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones has comparable stats to guys from 97, except a higher completion percentage and a worse record.
And to even add on, Daniel Jones has a injury history.
Bobby Petrino. There you go.
Bobby Petrino. Thank you.
I knew
somebody
was going to come up with that.
Thank you, Roz. Thank you. Yeah, Bobby Petrino had like the ill offense in college and had this great offensive mind and come in here. And that man hopped on a Greyhound in the middle of the night and said, I'm out of here.
OGR says, I remember on the draft night when we took Daniel Jones, I said verbatim, he's the next Dave Brown, and I'm not far off. Dave Brown actually went 9-6 his first starting season.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
He did not have a good season, but we went 9-6 and we finished the season 9-7 and missed the playoffs.
10 years record. 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this pick. It's going to be one of the worst picks ever. As far it's going to Daniel Jones at number 6 from Duke.
Yeah. I am speaking of the moment, but I didn't live in New York. Well, see that then you can't. I'm not picking on you, Mr. Authentic, but if you didn't live in New York, you don't know. It's like Met fans. It's like the worst team going back in the early 2000s or late 90s with the book, The Worst Team Money Could Buy, when they went out and signed Willie Randolph, when they signed all these overage veterans and we won like 70 games. In the moment, New York fans thought we had the greatest team in paper and we won like 70 games. The team imploded. But just like people around the league, like you said, are calling Daniel Jones average, that's what they were probably calling Kent Graham and Danny Cannell. But in New York, they were the quarterback messiahs. They were saving the franchise because they just made the playoffs. And then, like I said, and then the next season, Kent Graham goes 5-1 and gets the team to 8-8. It's false. And I've said this, I'm going to say this a million times. We're going to end this in a few minutes. I've said this a million times about Daniel Jones. False hope is still not hope.
No.
It's just an aberration. And for people that are lying to think that Daniel Jones is going to be something, that is fine. But to James's point, when you have the blinders on, and that's kind of what Mr. Authentic's talking about, is what we've talked about before. What everyone outside in New York says Daniel Jones isn't going to be something. But when you have those blinders on and you are living in the moment in that city, you think you have the greatest quarterback. False hope is still not hope. And that's what I worry about with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, and we gotta move off that. That's it's just and Authentic. You know, brother. You know how I feel about DJ. I've hopped on. Shout out to the beard and Authentic. But I've hopped on.
They're coming back. I don't know if I don't think they've done some shows since the season ended. So hopefully they're going to be coming back soon, especially with the draft coming up.
Of course, definitely. Shout out to both of those brothers. But Authentic, you already know how I feel about that. I was saying this months ago. Like, it's just tired of it. It's just OGR defense. Defense wins games, and it carried us. It's
bad teams in the 90s.
The Giants have always been physical, defense, run the ball.
Yep.
That's the three things that I know in my lifetime as a 40-year-old man, as a Giants fan. That's our three. Now, yes, Eli was a gunslinger, and he'd come out there and just and we love that. We love that. But the Giants need to get back to the real defense, being physical, stop getting pushed around.
Exactly. All right, James, we're going to wrap up this show today. I appreciate everyone coming on. Of course, James is going to be the new host of the new show. We're going to need a bigger boat, where that show is not going to just talk sports. We're going to talk everything under the sun. I always give Dahmer the final thought, James, to close it out, to make the show seem more intelligent. Because sometimes I go off on tangents. So say something a Thurston would say would be, lovely. We're going to say something intelligent now here, because Gilligan broke the boat again. You know what? And I don't want to be mean.
You're not mean.
Skipper should have drowned Gilligan. How many times did that fool cause some kind of problem where they couldn't even get off the island?
Well,
How many times? I mean, seriously, after the 497th time that you screwed up the rescue, you don't drown him in the lagoon? Sorry. And this is why I said you need to say something intelligent, James.
Well, let's be serious, and I am. If anybody remembers the book Lord of the Flies, if Gilligan's Island was Lord of the Flies, and I'm dating it myself, Gilligan would not have survived.
No.
He would have been gone because, and I'll bring this to the football real quick and wrap this up, is that you can't, it's the false hope thing. It's the being too nice thing. It's the, oh, this guy's nice. Or this guy, this is a football. Life is a results game. Football is a results business.
Yep.
We're fans, kids have cartoons, women have reality shows, men have sports.
Yep.
And we have to start being real here. It's not being mean. It's just being real, man. It's just being real. That's all it is. Hey, guess what? I have on a black and red hoodie. It says Ohio State. That's what it is. Sure. Brother Tim is a good brother. He spits facts. He has on a Poppycockers. Go get your Poppycockers hoodie. Hit that like button. That's just what it is. It's just the facts. We have sucked for the past 5 whatever years. We've sucked. We're all fans. We're all family in here. I can say that. We've sucked. We're not going to be good next year. We're not going to make a playoff run next year. Just get all that out the way. But we're building towards the future, and it's step by step. Don't shoot for the moon and be mad when we don't even hit a star. So everybody just lower your expectations a little bit. Let's stay grounded. That's my message. Stay grounded. Stay grounded.
Dom is fired. Dom who?
You can't fire Dom. We need talent evaluator Dom.
No, he's fired from Bobby Goggers, but he's fired from the Tuesday show. Dom, I'm sorry. This is your 2 weeks notice. You've been let go because Razzle says we dropped the Lord of the Flies reference. We dropped the Gilligan's reference. We dropped the Shoot for the Moon and you land upon the stars. Mr. Authentic says dope show. He appreciates it and dope show. Always salute to all. Love the show from Grant. We sucked for the last 10. He's right.
Yeah, I was being nice, right? OGR.
He was we've sucked more than a South Philly hooker. I mean, it's been a while. Greg says as Giant fans, we have to stop being nostalgic. Great point.
Just stay grounded, man. Just stay grounded. That's my message for stay grounded.
Stay grounded, stay real. Another last shout out to Mr. Haskins, gone too soon.
R.I.P. man. R.I.P. Shout out to anybody who's lost anybody this week. Death is always tragic. Whatever the conditions, whatever. It's just sorry to use a young man, 24 years old. That's 20. So shout out to him and his family.
Yep.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Love y'all. Appreciate the support.
Baker, the great Razzle, LJ, OGR. We got the Mr. Authentic. We got Maximus. We got G Marley. We got Stu. We got Hirsch for real. I mean, we got everyone. It was a great chat today. As always, it was a great chat today. We got Big Mike in the room. We got John, and we got John in the room also. I mean, it was fun. It was exciting. I'm gonna get out of here because I got some errands to run.
Yes, sir.
It's Sunday. But you know what? Look out for us. The new show. We'll actually put the new show on this channel so everyone can see it, and we'll tell you where to find it. It's going to be called We're Going to Need a Bigger Boat, because we're going to be talking about so much shit, it's not going to fit in the boat.
That's right. There will be blood in the water.
There will be blood in the water. There'll be chum in the water. That's all we're going to have to say. You know what? And it's going to be fun. I think.
Yes, sir.
I think it's gonna be fun. I don't know.
It will be. It will be.
I didn't ask I didn't ask James if he thought it was gonna be fun.
Oh, come on, man. You don't gotta ask me that. You know what I'm thinking half the time.
I know what you're thinking.
Inside the cage. Cage goes in the water. You go in the water. Sharks in the water.
Oh man.
Our shark.
That's
what it's all going to be about. And again, rest in peace, my friends, to the Haskins, the Haskins families, and to his wives. James raised the bar on co-hosting. And
thank you, man.
I have to agree. We only finished out at 81 likes. So I hate all of you. That's what James said now. I got someone else to blame, but I appreciate everyone coming in. I appreciate everyone dropping by, always watching the videos. It's always fun.
I appreciate that, man.
Sundays are always fun. Sundays a good time. And James, I appreciate you hanging out for the last hour and 40 minutes. And you know what, guys? It's a Sunday. Go enjoy the nice weather because it's not raining here for a change in the Northeast. And we are out here, and we will see you sometime next week. Peace, everyone.